Hi, kid.
Hi. Good, yes, good morning to you.
Good afternoon to you.
So, have you heard anything from the Linux conference about travel expenses?
No, I didn't have the time to submit
Ah,
the proposal. No, we got engaged in the presentation, and I just couldn't do both.
right. Hey,
Hi, Alex.
Hi, Alfonso. Hi, Kip.
Hello, everyone.
Hi,
hey,
Christian.
Christian.
Seems to me I'm computer illiterate. For some reason, I couldn't get into the Zoom, but
Um,
yeah, now
we are two now, Christian.
we
And
hear in the news about Mexico.
oh,
Doesn't sound so great.
I'd rather not talk
Okay.
in public
Okay.
channels, but fortunately, I live in the most secure city in the
Okay.
country. That's why I decided 11 years ago to come and live
Okay.
here.
Sure.
11 years ago, it was the only city that the Department of State, the State Department from the United States, would recommend Americans to travel to.
Hmm.
They
Mm.
who knows what's happening.
Sure.
Fortunately, things are here are nice and relaxed. And
Yeah, but
only
it's not.
excuse me.
Yeah, but it's not nice to see it happening
No,
elsewhere.
no,
Okay.
it's not. And there's so many people in so many places in our two countries that are involved. Okay, this goes all the way up,
Mm.
but in both places. There are no good and bad. They're just worst and evil.
Sure.
Okay.
Um, Thanks. I think we can start. Alex, thank you for the link and the wiki page. Let's just uh, let's just look at that. So can we start there at agenda point 1 with the debrief of the presentation? Yeah, well, anybody who wants to can start, I think.
I liked it. I liked the flow of it. I think it was very good. I am a bit disappointed with LF and LFVT because they always tell us that they're 200
Mm,
register attendance, and then we get 30. Okay, I'm used to having a 30% as the minimum base, and we didn't get to that percentage. So I don't know what happens. I don't know if how they count registered participants. I had the same trouble with the last presentation of Learning Tokens Mentorship 2025. And the thing that really works, because I went the next day, are the workshops that are coordinated for members of LFDT. So this made me think, and I wanted to talk to you about it. What if we contribute officially the IA ontologies to LFDT? So it's not only the work of a lab, it's a formal contribution.
Oh, yeah,
That
the
can
AI.
be, that can be done.
Well, I think so. I mean, there's nothing that I think there's not there's nothing. I mean, there's nothing that stops us. It's already open source. I mean, does that involve any specific commitments from our side in terms of, let's say, maintenance or things like that?
Yes. Yes, it does. It does. David is with us, so he could also comment on it.
If you guys look at point 4, when Alfonso and I were reviewing the wiki, we needed some permissions, and then we asked David to give us some space permissions, and he did give us some permissions, but he said, note that we're moving off of the Confluence wiki, and the plan is to keep it, but make it an archive. There's been a clear preference from community members to manage content in GitHub repos, and Confluence activity has been declining for a while now. If you would like to consider moving over to GitHub, I'd be happy to talk about how that process would work. And then you will see there's a link currently reading introduction, which he shared with us. So Christian, I don't know if you want to open that link. No, no, point 4.
Yes.
Oh, there. Sorry. Is it following the link?
Yep.
So you fork the repo. Sorry, let me just turn off my sound here. There are people in the house.
But
We've looked at
we,
this page like so
we
many
are,
times before in the past.
aren't we already a lab?
No, we are not a lab yet.
Ah,
We considered it already twice in the past, and every time we got stuck at the sponsorship thing, at the sponsors thing. But I think David will, considering that they are now actually planning to
A
move off.
product, basically.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think David will easily find us a sponsor or whatever.
Okay.
Okay. So let's just keep it in mind. We don't have to decide it today. Let's stick to the agenda.
Okay, but this is point 4 of the. I mean, this is on the agenda. But okay, let's just follow the agenda through. So we'll come back to this, and then let's ruminate on that just for a while, and we'll come back to that. I looked
Sorry,
at the
Sorry, Christian, can you quickly go back to that previous page? Something at the bottom, the lab stewards will then review like sponsors. Stewards do not have a responsible ongoing work like is not. Oh, okay. Okay, sorry. Never mind.
Yeah, so I think the only thing is the maintainers. The question is, what's the commitment that we make as maintainers, and
I think if you click on the left on the maintainers tab, maybe that will.
oh, sorry, it's there.
Nope.
Well,
Well, that's the
learning tokens is a lab, and basically we have someone that, looks at the commits and pull requests and all that, and reviews and follow them through.
well, I mean, it's what we do anyway.
Yes, that's what we do anyway.
Okay, so let's just, I mean, while we're at it, let's just look at the proposal template. Lab name, short description, scope, initial committers. Okay, that's us. Sponsor, we'll find someone here. Pre-existing. And luckily, all the pre-existing stuff is in one organization. It's all signed commits. It's all under the right license. So I think that would be pretty easy to bring that over.
In terms of the sponsor, I'm reading could be a
SIG chair.
maintainer. It could be a SIG chair or a TAC member. I would very much like Arun, which is the TAC member, and it's a very important contributor to the LFDT to be our sponsor, because then we have as a sponsor a member of the technical advisor committee.
So, do you agree with me then that the procedure is that we develop this proposal, and then when the proposal is fairly well fleshed out, we share with Arun and say, this is what we want you to
Yeah.
this is our proposal. Here's our existing repo. Here's the existing work. Here's the proposal, and would you sponsor this?
Okay.
Okay. It feels to me like it's the logical thing to do at this point. Um, so let's if all of you are fine with that, let's say within the next 2 weeks we'll fork the repo, create a proposal, and then Alfonso, if you'll take it up with
Arun.
Arun.
Yes.
Alex, do you agree?
Sure.
Kit?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Um,
Jeff is also here. He's just muted. Hi, Jeff. Off screen, off video.
screen.
Actually,
Okay.
on both. I had trouble getting in the system today. I had to log off of my other Linux ID to get into this one, which is weird, but never mind.
I also had some trouble there. Okay. Presentation at the Linux Foundation Open Source Summit in May.
I couldn't submit a proposal. I had apologies, but I had no time with the presentation.
Okay. So,
Jeff, were you able to submit something?
What's it on which one?
the
The
Open Source
one for
Summit in
May,
May.
the Aleph Open Source Summit in May.
I haven't submitted anything, no.
Okay.
But
Okay,
this project is, right? The ontology submission is taking place, right? Right.
It's closed.
Yeah, but
It closed Sunday the 15th
Yeah, okay, so
before
we're too
our
late.
presentation, and I was just concentrated on our presentation and in the restructuring of the wiki.
Okay, I think that one is passed. We are, I think, as we enter into the labs, there will be more opportunities to do that again. So let's just keep our eyes open.
yeah,
Okay,
matter of
I
fact,
think
I don't know
this
if you
is
guys, I don't know if you guys saw the email, but an email came out about that Minneapolis one. They might change the date because of the trouble they've had in that city. I don't know if you guys are aware of that or not.
Yeah.
They could possibly move it to a different city. So they said stay tuned.
Okay, if you pick up on something and the opportunity opens up again, just drop us an email or something, and
Yep.
we'll see what we do.
Because I'm building a demo of using an ontology in a data hub. So anyway, so we're not in the Minneapolis one then, if they continue with it. Okay.
Okay, let's go to the wiki structure. Alfonso, yeah, I'm looking quite forward to this. Do you want to take the screen? Or do you want to remote control me?
Well, yes, please do. Please do. Basically, if you go to the site.
Now let's just see if this here is the SIG working groups.
Working groups, okay, and then you go to
Standards
standards.
working group.
Okay. So if
Okay.
you see Alex suggested something that I thought was good and wise, which was to use the structure that normally appears in many web pages. So I worked with that idea and with suggestions from Alex, and basically it has this 5 tabs: about us, the resources, news and events, how to get involved, and the archive. And so go to each of those. And so we have the mission. I basically took pieces of text that were in the previous wiki or in the blog and in the article for the presentation of AYA. Okay, so it has the mission, has our work, then why it matters. Okay, and rather than reading, you can navigate it afterwards. And then I added the history, which I think is very important because it's tied with the history of the SIG, the Climate Action and Accounting, and it's 5 years. Okay. And so all of these texts, they're not mine. I just copy pasted like an edit. I was editing information that already existed and putting it in a new structure. And then how we work, and then active members, okay, and other contributors that have been there at one point in time, okay, and further down there are more, I think. Okay.
Okay, I'm going to the resources.
Then go to the resources. And basically in the resources, we have the AYA ontology suite, and here it's an overview. Again, it's something that each of you proposed, and it was hard to keep the credits because of the permits in the week. And so at the beginning, what we decided was to do it as in an article. Okay, rather than the owner of the page, it is the actual author of the piece that appears, regardless of who owns the page, because the page is owned by whomever created it. And I was creating all of them. Okay. So it's there. Then how to get started with the AYA.
Okay, great.
Okay, and then the FAQ. The FAQ, for instance, was created by Martin. Okay.
Yeah, that's actually technically incorrect, Alfonso. It's again a matter of the page reflected it was Martin Weinstein, but most of this text actually comes from Christian.
Okay, so let's correct it.
It's but it's not a problem.
As it was
Yeah, we'll
there,
fix
you
it
know,
afterwards.
I didn't know who the author was. But there you should put your name, Christian, as the author.
Okay, what is standardized? I think that's nice. And this we can extend this a little bit with OWL and stuff like that. I just want to check what's on that page. Oh, okay, this is the actual. Okay, this is that. Okay. And then the community register, yeah, this is a will.
That's something I wrote, and it's open for discussion and comments and rewriting.
I actually added some. I actually made a few changes to the columns, Christian. Alfonso, I see. Okay, well, right now I see the columns on displaying nicely on Christian's screen. But anyways, you will notice that I added three columns. So they were we initially the columns that we had in there, they were practically like 2 or 3 columns for contributor and stuff like that. So I collapsed the contributor 1 to 1 column so that we can add 3. Well, actually 2 columns. You see, I added a column for ontology versions to say which versions of the ontology did you use for annotating your data, which I think was important. And then I added a column for the LLM used if you used an LLM, so that we can know, like, maybe someone uses ChatGPT, maybe someone uses Gemini, maybe someone uses Claude, and it will be very interesting to keep track of like which. So yeah, sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to let you know, Alfonso, I removed 2 columns and added those 2 columns.
That's perfect. Thank you. No, but the idea is the first phrase. The first phrase of that tab is that ontologies develop through consensus. Okay, and our AYA evolves. And so we invite you to annotate and share. Share the fact that you used AYA. No, it's not compulsory to share the results. This is just a directory of annotated data.
Yeah.
Okay. It's similar to what happened to, for instance, the issuer identity registry for the learning credentials of academic institutions in the US. That I'm part of that committee, the IIR. Just saying who's giving credentials. And so here, who's using AYA to annotate data.
Okay, can I go on?
Yes, please. Then the theoretical expositions, there are three tabs. The core concepts,
For
this is just
okay.
a copy, Christian.
Okay, of that material. I think
Yes.
Alex wrote most of this. I see my name is here, but I think a lot of it comes from Alex. This stuff comes from
Please,
Alex.
please advise on the authorship
Okay.
because I had no way. That's the problem with the wiki.
Yeah.
It confuses authorship with ownership.
Yeah. It's almost as if the page, yeah, you take up the role of the editor when you start a page. I think it's because you get notified when the page changes. Okay, but
I'm not a
with
fan of Confluence, to tell you the truth. No, I'm not a fan at all.
Good.
No,
I have
and
somebody that agrees with me.
it's
That's
horrible.
sorry.
It's horrible.
That's being nice.
Well, yes, but you see, I'm controlling myself. We're going through a tough time here in the country, and this niceties of the platforms of LF are beyond my mindset of today. Apologies for that.
okay.
It's not with
I'm
you
going to
guys.
the next one there.
So yes, go to the next one.
New
And
ideas, debates, and
the same
discussions.
thing of author ownership and authorship.
Yeah.
Okay. And so it's here.
Yeah, I think this stuff looks like me. This looks
You
like stuff.
know it. Please
Yeah.
please go ahead and change it. That we can change.
Yeah.
Which is the absurdity of Confluence. Okay. It confuses authorship with ownership of the page, and on the other hand, it opens the page for anyone to edit.
Mm.
So you can have multiple authors.
Without being recognized or being responsible for it.
Yeah, that's the
So it
problem.
has no credit, no responsibility.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, well,
Then there's the third part.
this also looks.
Oh, that's actually a duplicate. That's a duplicate of the first one.
Yes.
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 Well, maybe it's a edit of the first one, or is it word for word the same?
It's very much the same, and even the illustrations. But I just, rather than judging, I just
Yeah.
restructured. Okay.
Okay, so maybe we'll consolidate those two into one, and the new ideas. Some of those things are just sort of thought. Yeah, maybe we'll move that one to the end.
Okay.
Okay. And
So
then we are
then you
at.
have the course, which we have. There's some ideas and proposals for what the course could be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's nice.
Then we have
Then we
news
get-
and events. We have
Which
the
is the
presentations
summaries.
and summaries and press releases.
Is our recent is the 17th February? That's
No.
not in here. Okay, we'll
No,
have to add that.
no.
I looked at the video. It had 72 views on YouTube.
That's good.
So there were some views on YouTube as well.
That's good. So we come to to about 90. That's a good rating. It's
Okay.
40% of the registered.
Yeah. Press releases. No, yeah, well.
No,
Well, maybe we'll
The
make a
press
press release
release,
with
the one we can put there is when the Linux Foundation's blog post when we released the ontology suite last year.
okay.
that would be good.
Okay.
Yes. And then the get involved. And that comes from the standard beginning of this SIG wiki.
Hmm.
Join our meetings. Contribute.
Okay.
Okay, the relation to then the to-do list. This is from long time ago. This also needs curation.
Actually, I've been updating this over the
Oh, good.
I from time to time add things to this list, so it's not completely stale. But I think a lot of this needs to be reviewed because some of them have been done in the meantime since
For
yeah, I
example,
think
that one.
yeah.
I mean, we
Just
do use time in a specific way. Yeah.
yeah. I think it's just I think one more thing that remains to be done, and which is actually one of the things that I picked up while I was writing the guide and also over the past few days talking with the LLM, is that we just need to make it very clear somewhere, like in the guide, that people
Yeah.
should use the time ontology, and how to do that. But we have examples thereof now, so.
Okay.
Then you
I
have,
think there's the archive. I'm not sure if we have to go through the archive.
well,
No,
the
the archive
archive,
is
is
the
the old
old
one.
page.
the archive is a lot of interesting issues, but some of them were not developed. Only very few of them were developed.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're just there, but
Yeah. No, that's fine. I think it's
nothing,
good.
nothing in there. Okay.
Thanks for this, Alfonso. I mean, I think we really needed a sort of structuring of the whole thing. So thanks a lot for that.
No,
Um,
nothing.
and yeah, it does make it does make make it much more approachable. Um, I I lost the sorry, let me just go in the history here and find the meeting again. There we go. So Alex, I think you're next with LLM work. I'm very curious to see what that involves.
Yes, me too. We saw it
Can I
one
give
Saturday, but then I'd like to see what happened.
Can I give you the screen?
Oh, yes, you can. Sorry, I was on mute. So that was very interesting indeed. Christian, I opened a few pull requests on our GitHub
Yeah, I
repo.
saw it. Sorry, I haven't been able to pay attention, but I've seen that and I'll look at that tomorrow.
Once you have approved them and pulled them in, I can actually add this LLM example now to that community contributed data registry. But first, let me show you this. Right, I just want to get to actually stream 120. I stopped this cache thing. I don't want to. Okay, thank you. I just want to show you the actual project in the registry. Registry for countries registered with crediting programs. No. So
Are you sharing your screen?
not yet, not yet. Okay. Where is the share screen? Oh, it's the green one. All right, can you guys see? So there's this project in Eco Registry that was certified, well, conducted under the Circle Bono program. Its crediting period is actually still active, but do not ask me how to pronounce that. There's actually like the kind of tilde thing, Alfonso, that you have on Piñata. There's kind of that thing on the Carapinha thingy as well, but it's Turkey, so not Mexico. But anyways, the project is about generating solar energy, like electricity from solar energy, and feeding it into the Turkey's natural grid, to reduce its. Yeah, obviously. Oh, here it is. The project is located in blah, blah, blah. Electricity would be generated through sustainable means. Interesting that they do not specify that it will be solar there, but it was solar. Okay. Project's largest solar, blah, 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 blah. Okay, anyways. So it was this project. And then I ended up having an 86-page chat with ChatGPT.
Good.
Of all those 86 pages, let me just sorry, this is going to take a while to load because it's a huge chat, obviously. I exported the chat to a PDF, that's why I know it came out as 86 pages, but what is it doing now? Okay, anyway, so let's go to the very, very top. Actually, I had two conversations. So no, don't read because you're gonna get distracted, so I'm gonna talk first. Chris, you will remember that Alfonso and I showed you guys last time that, well, not showed, but we told you how, okay, I was busy going through my initial conversation with ChatGPT was like, just see if it can actually make sense of a project in terms of Aya. So my first chat, I started, maybe I can actually show you guys that. I just asked it like, here is some project information. That was for a different project. That was for that ship hole project. The coaching was just so where I gave it these documents and then just asked it questions like, as a first step, please make a list of all the agents involved in the activity. And then Aya defines an agent as this, so blah 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 blah, and then it gave me the agents. And then I was like, as a next step, please now identify how each agent is related to the project. So it's about roles. So this was the first attempt with the other project, with this ship project. And it didn't come out so nicely in the end. Like it really struggled at when we got to states. and distinguishing states from the indicators that are that describe those states and the things of which the state is a
Those
state
are
of.
the states.
Yeah, that's what I say. It really got like it didn't get good. But anyways. So then I decided to finish the manual guide on the ShapeWall project. So I finished that thing myself. And then I started new with this chat. Sorry, now it's going to take a while again to load. Okay. So I said, okay, I have some information about an impact project. I would like you to help me create an I annotated JSON-LD representation of the project and its impact claims. We'll do this step by step. So first of all, I gave it the links to the four ontologies and just asked it, please confirm that you can access all four links. Because sometimes, I guess you guys have picked this up, but sometimes you give a link to the chat, to the LLM, and it cannot actually access it, but it doesn't tell you.
Yeah,
It
it just
like,
improvises stuff then,
it improvises stuff. So I asked it, and it gave me a really good, nice answer. Yes, I can access all four links, and I can read and interpret and so on. And it gave me a very good overview, and I like knew, okay, clearly it actually did have access to the content, blah blah blah. And then I said,
It's
okay,
called,
perfect. Here's the link.
in LLM speak, it's called hallucinations.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely. And I was very strict on this one. Like many times I told it, like, do not improvise, do not invent anything. Stay to documents. But anyway, so the next thing here's a link to the guide that I wrote then. Guide written by humans for humans.
Yes.
My project. Where I fed it that guide. I don't know if it is this
Oh,
guide. Yeah.
Alex, once you confirm the links, you specified the procedure through the guide.
Yes
Is
and
that what you
no,
did?
because the guide is for humans, and it was a little bit. I was thinking of like follow the guide and do the stuff, but I kind of wanted to have a little bit more control of it. I didn't want to give it free rein.
Yeah.
But okay, this was
Okay.
the guide that I gave it as an example, where yeah. So I don't know if you guys read through this guide yet. You probably have not had time, but yeah, in this, so I fed it this. And please read through the guide and let me know if anything is unclear. And then it like read through the guide and it said, yes, the guide covers everything. It's clear. Introduction to the process, setting up JSON-LD content, blah, 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 linking states, da, 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 da. Okay. And then I gave it the project documents, like of that actual the eco-registry project thing that I showed you. So I gave it the verification statement, the actual project location came out. This was some certificate thing. That was the issuance certificate. That was the monitoring report in PD in a Word document. This was the PDD. This was the validation report, verification, blah, blah, blah. So then I said, okay, attaches the data and information that we have about the project. Before we proceed again, please just confirm that you can access all the documents. And then it's like, yep, sweet, you can access all of them.
Good.
It gave me a quick overview of what they are about. And then it's like, we're ready to begin I annotation. I was like, okay, good. I agree that we can now start creating. Please, but then I said, okay, hold your horses. Please explain to me what process you will follow before like it. So great. And then it said, okay, the first we will set up the add context as per the guide, actually, because that's in the guide. That was the first thing that I did in the guide as well. So choose a base RI, but that is very good because in the guide, I used the dummy data IRI explicitly, very clearly a dummy IRI anyways. And then it was like from the docs, I'll then extract IR project, links to project to identify things, indicators, and measured states. And there it's like very clearly using IR terminology because we define, for example, as you will remember, our definition for a state is the conditions and things, the surroundings and conditions in which a thing occurs. So like conditions, it's using like, it's very nice. It started using our terminology, but anyways. And then construct delta, input deltas, turn facts into claims, blah, 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 represent communication, infocom. I told it later, do not use infocom for now because let's just get the basics. I mean, the information communication ontology becomes important when we start becoming concerned with how a single impact claim gets replicated across multiple media and multiple
Yeah.
communication channels and stuff like that.
Yes.
So I was like, let's just not go into that now. But anyways, the learn small and it knows me by now. It says because you prefer one question at a time, which I do. Step one, start one. What base RI should we use for identify? Nice. I was like, good. Said please use this as a base RI, and then it's suggested by itself that it will create like kind of sub namespaces to this, which is nice, which was nice. I mean, Christian, that's a approach that we followed in independent impact, if you remember. But okay, so like it'll create an agent namespace or role namespace, activity, thing, indicator, blah blah blah, state, evidence. That I later asked it to drop. I'll tell you why, but okay, anyways. So good. Then it started with this context. And okay, oh, it did make a mistake. As you can see, its first mistake was to actually include the file name in the path of the ontology. And it was like, yeah.
But Alex, because you gave it the HTML address to which the content resolution resolved to if it's HTML.
Yes, but it was supposed to pick up from there that the thing is actually W3 ID because we list it.
Oh, okay, I understand. Yeah. I know, okay,
Like
I
we
understand.
say there.
Yeah,
It was
no, it
supposed to
must,
get
yeah.
that. And in hindsight, actually, I don't think it's correct. Yeah. Oh no, it's good. It fixed it eventually. Good.
Okay, sorry, I
But
broke
yeah,
your
I
speech.
didn't pick up there, so I asked it to fix it, and then okay, so it went to that. I just left it there. So then I wanted to start creating the project, and I was like, okay, yeah, proceed. So it had this context, and then it created a project with a spatial location, temporal
And an
extent.
objective as it should.
Yeah, I said, oh yeah, because in the guide, I basically start off with the next step after the context in the guide is the objective and the impacts that were targeted as the objective kind of. So then it created these things. And it's very nice. It told me when it used stuff that weren't in there. So here it invented a new location class, which does not exist in Impact On, but thank goodness it told me that. And I was like, no, I am not okay with that. Don't invent things. But it was nice, don't worry. I was nice to it. I was like, do you want the project to blah blah? Should we then? I was like, this is looking good, thank you. As for the location, the impact ontology does not currently have a clause or a property for spatial location, but we should indeed include it. Blah blah blah. Please use schema org location instead for now.
Okay.
And it actually wanted to. Okay, maybe I should not go into that. Otherwise, we're going to sit here for the next 3 hours. But so, anyways, this was the very interesting thing. Its first biggest mistake after this was it made the project activity an impact on thing of which the state should be described, and the indicators were concerned with describing the state of the activity.
Yeah, that's just wrong.
I didn't pick it up initially because I mean it gives me this big blob. I just scan through and like, okay, not too bad. It's like using things, and then it starts getting weird. Like when like whether it should have the emission factor of the Turkey grid as a state, but I told it, I thought, true insight comes from within. So instead of giving it the answer, I was like, was the emission factor of the, grid affected by the project? And it was like, no. And I was like, nice. So don't include it. Good. Anyway, and then I picked up the mistake that the impact on thing is not, that it made the impact on thing the activity. So I told it, no. The real impact thing here is Turkey's national electricity grid. The project the project is really concerned with how polluting the grid is, and it's trying to make the grid less polluting by providing like cleaner energy, feeding cleaner energy into the grid. And once it got that right, like once it clicked for this, it really started doing very, very well. So, okay, I'm not going to scroll through the rest of this conversation. I'll just show you the end result, which, let's see, it spans 860 lines of JSON-LD, but it's nice. So in the end, we had a nice set. We had all the documents that I gave it represented as DC terms resources that we could use as evidence to the claims, which I will show you. So there were all these things. We also, again, it had the project site came out as well in there. It had temporal locations created for all the important things like the monitoring period and the crediting period. This is how, we're using time. So I told it, please use time, the OWL time ontology.
Yeah, correct.
And we had a nice project site thing where we linked using schema has map. We actually linked the KML to which I thought was nice.
Yeah,
And
that's
here we get to, this is now actually the project node. So it's an IR project. It has an objective. It has a location, like a spatial location. It has a temporal location, and it comprises a bunch of activities, like the project activity of actually generating electricity, the monitoring activity, the quantification, validation, verification, and the first issuance. This is interesting. We can think about that, but anyways, let's not go into too deep discussions now. And then obviously this project has a bunch of agent activity relations, which I'll show you later how they were created. But yeah, this is linked. And then very important, it didn't pick this up in the end. I added it today, this morning. I realized it never registered or created a node for the PDD as a control. Because once the PDD is validated, the PDD becomes a control.
Yes.
And so we did this
And
this morning.
in fact, Alex, you can say the PDD is the control. The standard under which it is registered is also a control. There may be a hierarchy of controls even above the PDD.
Yeah.
Carbanu or whatever eco registry, they are also, but yeah, it's good that you have that. That's very nice.
And then we have the list of all the
methodologies
other
also.
controls, which Christian you will very much like. So ACM002, the additionality tool, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah,
It
that's
picked
very
all these
nice.
things up by itself, like that these were tools and methodologies used, and we needed to create controls for them. So I was like very impressed about that. Well, with that.
Yeah.
And okay, then we get to the kind of, I want to say, the component activities of, although component is a loaded word in terms of a program, but anyways, don't overthink that. Just the constituting activities, like the actual solar electricity generation. With its, I see now, actually, we can have an objective here. We don't have an objective. Let me make a note about that. Add objective.
Yes.
But anyways, crap, what have I just? So then we have an activity, yeah. So there, it like the monitoring was governed by the controls of the methodologies and the tools and the
And the PDD,
quantification.
which is correct. Yeah.
Yes, which is great, and the validation then, blah 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 blah, and the verification, blah 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 blah, and then the activity of issuance, and then this is very interesting. Here is obviously now the baseline activity, which is the counterfactual,
Mm. Yes,
counterfactual
it's the activity that would have happened.
Yes, and okay, I actually have a
And
question about this.
it doesn't have a modality.
Yes, it doesn't, but it struggled with that. Like it struggled between. So I want to say, unsurprisingly, it struggled between real things and like distinguishing between real and counterfactual things. Like the
Like
state, you will
everybody
see
else.
later, the state, I had to correct it. The baseline state, it considered real. The baseline state was real. Even though it was counterfactual, it was a real counterfactual. So I had to correct it there. But anyways, so there are the things, and the Turkish national grid as the main thing that has a state, the baseline state, and then the project state, which is during the first module, which is perfectly great. We had indicators, we had values to like you will remember in the context of a state, you have an indicator and then you have a value for that indicator to define the state.
Yes.
But these
At a
values,
point in time.
yes, a temporal location. And
Okay,
there
cool.
it does have the has modalities and stuff. So for the values, we actually I wanted it to clearly I wanted to make it clear where those values came from. So we ended up using DC terms source to say like this value was calculated during that monitor, during the quantification activity, or the quantification activity was the anyways. We can talk
Alex,
about
is the provenance ontology not the one to do that?
Possibly, we can have a discussion about that. I have a couple of
Okay,
questions
okay.
that we should talk about. DC terms is nice because it's used very widely. But anyways, then you have okay, so this was the baseline state, and then you have the project state, and then you have an impact, which is state A, state B, the baseline project, with a temporal location, which matches the temporal locations of both these. And then we have the agents, and it was very nice. Like it automatically used schema.org to add as much identifying information about each agent as it could extract from the documents. Like I didn't even ask it to do so. It just went ahead and did it. Like I thought like this one, for example, was done very well. But anyways, so yeah, we created the bunch of agents for all the things, including this, for example, the ratio, and then we created the roles. For the owner, the developer, the project proponent, which in this case is actually the same as the project owner, but anyways, validation body, verification body, certification program, registry or issuer, it labeled it like that. I would prefer to pick one, but okay. And then we created the agent activity relations that you saw earlier. So you have an agent, you have an activity, and then you get is governed by whichever role at that agent activity relation. So we did this really well. And then obviously at the very end, we get to the claims. So you get a state claim. Turkish National Integrate has state this as a baseline state, and the claimant is the project proponent, and it is supported by these documents as the substantiations from the claimant. And then another state claim for the project scenario. Did I say that one was for the baseline? Yes. So this one is for the project scenario. Again, the thing is the same, like the subject is the same, the predicate is the same, but the object is now different. It's now the project state. Claimant is the same, supported by the documents. Then, okay, I realized we needed, like, well, ChatGPT and I realized we needed a state provenance claim as well. Right now we had state claims and we had impact claims, but we didn't have state provenance claims. So I actually created that, and that is one of the PRs, Christian, on GitHub. But anyways, so in a state provenance claim, you just say, okay, this state has provenance, that activity or event, whatever. So we had a state provenance claim for the baseline state, which is counterfactual, and then we had a state provenance claim for the project state. To link those states, obviously to the project itself, that activity, and then we have the final impact claim. We say that impact, you will remember there was an impact node that we created earlier. That impact had provenance, the project's electricity generation. And the claim is this, and these are the supported documents. And yeah, that was
Sure.
the result.
Yeah, Alex, I think it's great that we have such a a complete example. I'm aware that we are on time, so I just want to make. So I think it's great that we should sort of follow up on that, and the way in which maybe we can dedicate or fine tune LLM to become really good at this, and then we can ingest this stuff at scale. So this is very exciting stuff. Let me just say that. Alfonso, you want to say something?
Yes, yes. First, I love it. Thank you. I love it. Okay. I think there are a lot of things that can be done before the scaling, and that would, if done well, will promote the scaling.
Yes.
And what I realized as you were explaining, Alex, is that this is a three-part exercise. We have the ontology, you got a project, and then you use the tool of AI. Okay? And so the relationships between those three, that triangle, it is important. And what I love the best is that the use of this technology, of this tool, allowed us to review the completeness and coherence of Aya, which is something you did, and it's in your pull request, okay? But also it helped evolve the chat interaction, okay? So that's an improvement on the tool. There's a third improvement that it would be great, which is to show the annotated data to the project maintainers so that we can see what this structured information allows them to realize areas to be improved. So the first thing that I loved of this structure is that first, it was done automatically. Second, it's really an application of Aya. Third, allows us to learn about each of the three vertices of that triangle. I would suggest to put this into a use case. The whole process. Let's structure, and I would like to work it with you, and I'm willing to help, to put it as a use case, because that's what we can present. And that is what's really going to get people interested in using the
So you say, Alfonso, when you say use case, you're just talking about just a business case,
It's an academic use case to showcase the advantage of Aya with the use of AI tool for the structuring, formatting data of a project.
So
it's a use case of an application.
Yeah, I've started I've started that for a mutual project, and so it's a Python program that, but now again, it's a software program, and so software programs can't browse. The engine can't browse, so you can't use ChatGPT with a software package. And so I'm just wondering on the JSON, real quick, the JSON that's on here, I can have my Python program read that whole JSON in and then use that for data ingestion, because that's the use case I'm looking at it for.
Yes, but I'm
Is that
and,
JSON
and
out there?
that is very good, and that has to be done by many users. Okay, what I'm thinking of is an academic learning use case. Okay, that allows us and share the experience of using Aya to analyze a document from a real user with the tool of AI. And that learning use case, I would like very much to. I'm part also of another foundation at LF, which is the LF AI and Data. Okay, I would like us to ask for a presentation there of this, not only Aya, but of this application of AI for Aya in a real Turkish delight. Okay. Whatever the dessert is in Turkey. And with that,
I
we'll
think
get
let's in the last
of,
minute. We are 10 minutes over time, so let's in the last minute just formulate the next step.
And I mean, I'm all for ambition, you guys know that, but can we maybe focus on getting the labs thing going? Because I think
Okay. Lab first, and this I think we should
labs, and then
get
if you
this
can look at the
material because
PR.
it's on the GitHub anyway. This material into the lab, and
Yes, which means if you can just also approve those PRs, because then I can release new versions of the ontologies and also upload this to our wiki, and also probably make a LinkedIn post and also share it with David, because we said in the in the presentation last week, we said to the participants that we are working on an LLM thing and we will share it with them soon. So maybe if I can share this with David, then he can email those who participated and say, okay, the LLM thing is now available.
Okay, excellent. Okay, I'll do it first thing in the morning.
Okay, perfect.
And I'll begin thinking the structure of the learning use case.
Okay, excellent.
We
Okay,
are over time, so I guess. Sorry, Christian.
You go.
No, I want to say we are over time. I guess you wanted to say people can leave if they want to. But
Well, I'm gonna have to be that person. No, I want to say, do we do next week or the week after that?
no, the week after, please, if we can. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Good.
I
But
won't
we'll
be
keep
able.
in touch on. We'll keep in touch. I'll do this stuff, and we'll keep in touch on the email around the other stuff as well.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I'll give you this decarbonization of supply chains and measuring scope 3 emissions. Scope 3 emissions are huge in the climate accounting world. Are huge. And so we think a solution for that in architecture, but that we're putting together software behind it. And we're lapping the AI in there. We haven't finished how that's going to exactly work, but we'll see. But it's a different AI world because I have to use the engine, not chat. So data is a year out of date. You can't do math. So, it's a little restricted, which is fine, but we'll figure out. Because AI engines can't do math. So I think everybody here knows that. So
The earliest ones couldn't do math, but the latest ones can actually. So I'm not sure.
Well,
Like
it's doing
GPT 5.2
pattern.
is really good actually, Jeff. If you
It's
Yeah.
doing
go
it's
look at
doing pattern, it's vector, so it's doing pattern matchings. It can't do deterministic. And so maybe someday it will, maybe, one of the things that we have is we're asking the engine go out and get the cost of carbon credits, cost of putting solar panels on a warehouse, giving a strategy, and it can't do any of that. It can't do math.
There are many things that could be
So
done
I'm trying to fit it into
beyond
that
that.
structure. Yeah. What's that?
Okay,
There-
I'm going to have
I-
to drop.
I
Christian.
think we
10
should keep open the AI, the use of AI.
Yeah.
Okay. And keep keep it open to the ingenuity of each user. That's
Yeah.
what Alex showed us.
Hmm.
Rather than restricting, just let it open.
Yeah, I do. We do, but you can't, you run into hallucination. And there are warnings from the OpenAI folks about this stuff, about trying to do deterministic financial analysis, things like that. You're going to get in trouble.
But there's something else that we can do. Many
So-
other things that we
Oh,
can
I do. I do it for other stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know its limits
Fine.
because I can't use ChatGPT. You got to use the engine.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have
Okay,
to
guys.
go.
See you.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Alex.
Yeah, thanks. This is great. Thank you,
It's
guys.
a
Yeah.
team effort. Congratulations to us all. Thanks. Bye bye.
Okay, 2 weeks from now.
Bye bye.
Yep.
Thanks.
Okay.
Bye.